everyone. Welcome to CSM Hot Topics. So this week I decided to go live and incorporate some friends that would like to come online and just kind of give their input on love. Last week the subject was love and what is love. So we're going to go over that, do a little recapping of last week, and then we'll move on to that question that was at the end of last week. Is it better to give love or to receive love? So we're going to give a little bit maybe towards the end of this. Actually, this is a long song. To some of my people that I invited on to come on. This is definitely the first time I've ever invited anybody on. Normally I just go YouTube, but this is good. This is a good thing. Okay, so recapping on last week, we talked about love, and we talked about love. We used the definition from what the Bible speaks on what love is. Love is kind, love is patient, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it is not easily provoked or angered. It holds no wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always persevere. So that's what the biblical, the Bible version of love, 1 Corinthians 13 and 4 through 7. We also spoke about when I also had reference on as it relates to Ayana Van Zandt, when she was talking about we experience the love of God with our relationships and our families, how we connect with our friends. That is how we see God in our relationships. And because we are loving towards each other, it gives us the right to tell each other what the truth. Because if I love you, I'm going to always tell you the truth. And then we also referenced to my favorite poet, Maya Angelou, that talked about love kicks down walls. Like, regardless of what's going on in life, love overrides it all. It leaps over barriers, because if I love you, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be there for you and to support you. Really love that. So, moving forward to this week on session series 2, we're talking about, I just want to kind of go a little bit in depth as far as just looking at the origin of love, what love really, defining love. I was looking at a psychology article online, and it talks about love being an emotion. Let's see. Okay, it talks about love being an emotion. Love understands what love is. It has a place. It's emotion. It pretty much drives you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. When we speak in terms of like when we look at the whole definition of love, the ancient Greek philosophers identified that there are 4 forms of love. And I really was like, okay, now I know one form that we talk about all the time, and sometimes I think we get it mixed up. I think that we get agape love mixed up with family love, friendly love, self-love. But there are 4 types of love that the ancient Greek philosophers talk about. It speaks about family, friendly, romantic love, and divine love, which is agape love. But I think what we do is when we talk, and I've done that, when we speak in terms of love is patient, love is kind, all of that, that's the divine love. When we speak of family love, it should be a part of that, but we know that there's some family members you may not love it on a divine level, so it's not the same love. It's not the same love as a friendly love. Like, I love you. I don't believe I would die for you, but I have love for you. Romantic love, everybody know that your boo, your bae, or whatever you are, your husband, your best friend, you may have romantic love for, and it's not the same as I love my parents, the love that I have for my children. So there's different forms of love, but it's all encompassed. It's up under the umbrella of love. It's just different forms of love. When we talk about love for humanity, that's another form of love, and that's called what do they call? No, they didn't talk about that. But that's the love for humanity. Is if you see someone on the street that needs help, you don't just walk by. And that's what we kind of spoke on last week, because we're talking about how the need for love is so great in the world. Is now people are just really showing that they don't love like they used to. I mean, there's a time that you see someone injured on the street or someone in need, you're stopping and be of assistance, or as best as you can. Now, first thing you may see people do, what? Taking out the phone. They're not trying to help anybody. It's all about getting the footage to put on your Facebook page to get more views and get more likes. That is not a form of loving humanity. We need more love in the world today. We need more love in the world today. When we talk about love, like people have love for family, they have love for parents, they have love for spouse, and they have love for food. People love food. I mean, genuinely love food. Like they can't do without food. So when we talk about love is so it's such a big. It's so big. It's you can't even contain it. You know, it's just the level of love that is needed, that is needed to that we really need to address. And what's concerning to me is, why don't we see more people? And I hate it so much when things happen in the world. And I guess I shouldn't say I hate it, but it's concerning to me when things happen in the world. They feel as if it's a certain group of people that are responsible for changing it, but it's all of our responsibility. It's not just the community. It's not just the church. It's not just different groups, but it's everybody. And it starts with ourselves. And like my son said last week, he's not here right now. He said, "Mom, that's your, you said it says CSM hot topics. That's your topic, but I wanted you to be a part. I like to hear the views. I like to hear what young people views are as it relates to certain topics that's interested to me. I guess I'm kind of just want to know. I just like to just know." And one of the things that he said is, there's no way you can love anybody if you don't love yourself. Having a love for yourself. How can you love if you don't even know how to love? You don't even know how to love yourself. So how do I expect you to love me if you don't even know how to love you? Which brings me back to the question, is it better to give love than to receive love? That's the question. Now that you're kind of getting a little background information on really, like, I'm not saying be in love with everybody. I'm just saying, like, can I give love? And you give your love and see, love is, like I said, it is emotion, but it's also an action. It's just not words. Like, people they use it so loosely. "Oh, I love you." What does that mean? And as soon as things happen or they don't like something, they don't love you, because their actions, it speaks differently. It shows you what their heart is, where their heart is. So that's the reason why the question came in play. is, okay, is it better for me to love you than you to love me? Anybody have that question? Anybody have an answer to that? Anybody? Let's see. All right, I see I have. Okay, so just trying to see. I'm gonna try to bring Miss Thing on. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I really don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna leave that alone because my technician person is doing his own thing. Okay, so while I'm waiting to see if anybody has an answer to that, because I have my own answer, but I don't want to give that answer away right now. My answer doesn't mean it's the right answer, it's just my answer. I just feel like, in my opinion, I have my own opinion. But when we talk in terms of love, we also look at, and I know you could have been the person or the victim or the person that was doing this one-side love. Like, you see someone that's really in love with that person, but they're not reciprocating that. The person that they're in love with are not showing that type of love. Doesn't mean the person that's giving that love is not true. They really do love that person, but you definitely want to love someone that, when I'm talking about a romantic love, I'm not just talking about just being just a friendly love, this love for humanity. I'm talking about as it relates to relationships or romantic relationships. You don't want to be the one-sided love. You don't want to be the one that's in love with the person and they're not in love with you. So it's called one-side love, and that's a side you don't want to be on. You want to be loving but not in love with someone that does not reciprocate that love back to you. In terms of romantic, I'm not associating that with just being a loving person, giving, just being kind, just being loving towards people. And then the infatuated love, because you know what? Now this can be true. I don't know how people say, "Ooh, honey, I fell in love with her," or "Ooh, I fell in love with him the first time I saw him." Is that really love? The first time I laid eyes on him, I knew I was in love. Is that really love? Like, is that really love, or is it just infatuated? Because true love it's going to be there. It's going to sustain itself through whatever's going on in life. It's going to be there, and that's when you know it ain't infatuated. Because infatuated love is situational love. It's what I call love that is conditional. Like, okay, he nice. I love him, but as soon as he's clowning, acting fool, you don't love him no more. So that's infatuated love. I just love him based on condition, and that is not the type of love that you want to embrace in conditional love, because you want your love to be true and to be really from the heart. It is an emotion, true. You can control your emotion, and you have to choose who you want to see, and that's the thing. When we talk about love, we just sometimes we put that love in one boat, but there is a different type of love, and we already spoke on that. So you have to make sure that who you're trying to be in love with or love, just make sure that it's in the category of that type of love. Your goal is just to have agape love for everybody, like really care for people in general, but we know that may not be, but I'm just saying. And self-love. So there is the one-sided love, that's the negative type of love. There's the infatuated love, and then there's a self-love, which if you love yourself, you can love somebody else. Now, I'm going to go back to this question because that is the second part. Of the let me see. I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. I love quotes. Oh my God, I love them. This is from and you all listen. I like Ayana. See, let me just be clear here, because sometimes we get caught up in not supporting and not liking people because of their religious belief. I may not agree with her religious belief on certain things. That's fine. But listen, I try my best to find a message in every person that I am